Good morning and welcome to Morning Safari, your number one breakfast show on the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA Ilori. As you know, this program is aimed at educating, enlightening and entertaining you. Today on our discussion segment, our focus will be on monkeypox, a wildfire. Welcome, I mean Yusuf. I'm not alone to make your Saturday morning a beautiful one. With me is...
My name's Samson Owojaye, and it's such a pretty morning, and the atmosphere this morning is kind of mixed up, cool and a little bit sunny. And I believe viewers at home already had a feel of that. And if you've not, don't bother. Wait till after Morning Safari. Stick to the show. And as usual, our complimentary segments, of course, newspaper highlights, and then health, fitness, and children, the background report, the discussion, sport. The ball rolling, a short time out. Stay tuned.
Morning Safari, your breakfast Saturday morning magazine show, is available for your patronage. From all shades of opinion to exciting and exclusive interview of personalities, corporate bodies and organizations, for your business and social engagement, event coverage, product launch and rebranding, annual general meetings, we are can call. You can as well advertise and promote your business, commercial activities, hotel and tourism, entrepreneurship development, and many more are all at our services. Contact us today. The numbers to call are Bola 080-565-30106, Tony 080-349-71969, or visit us at our office, NTA Ilorin, along Fatih Road, Ilorin. You can log on to our social streaming platform live on www.facebook. Ilorin. Morning Safari, we serve you better.
Now to the newspaper highlights. With me, it's Saturday Tribune and Saturday Punch.
And with me is Saturday Vanguard and The Guardian.
Okay, starting with the Saturday Tribune. Above the masthead. Tomorrow is Operation Show Your PVC Day. PFN tells Christians. The story can be found on page 8. Gunmen kill 2 policemen, varsity lecturer, 2 others in Bedwe. The story can be found on page 8. And below the masthead, refusal to use winners of primaries. APC has no candidates in 3 senatorial districts. INEC explains why it rejected Lawan, Apabio, and Umahi. The story can be found on page 6. Terrorists bomb another police station in Kogi, kill officer. The story can be found on page 6. Supreme Court crisis. Opens cans of worms in federal state judiciary. How states deceive NUC with rented cars, houses. Apex Court dismisses Buhari's suit on Electoral Act. The story can be found on pages 5 and 6. Terrorism, Southwest states beef off security around churches and mosques. Police, Amotekun put operatives on alert. The story can be found on pages 5, 6. Behind the Saturday Tribune. Notes from Atlanta with Farouk Pirogi. INEC's crippling moral crisis. If you have interest in any of this headline, get the Saturday Tribune.
And this morning on Saturday Vanguard, above the nameplate, long torturous journey to freedom. 2 Chibok girls, now mothers, tell story of their escape after 8 years in captivity. They were tortured, forcefully married out, and remarried again after troops killed their first husband. Details of that could be found on page 10. Below the nameplate, on 2023 election, can Peter Obi pull the Barack Obama phenomenon? More facts emerge on organ donor. Discrepancies on claims to lobbies exposed. That's on page 4. Tinubu campaign DG thanks northern governors. Says Asiwaju is next president. That's on page 4. Delta 2023. What Omoagege Ogboru Bagi want to bear out. That's on page 12. Mbaka versus Peter Obi, verdict of the people. That's on page 24. Why money, not competence, may determine winners. Ekiti signals bad omen. 26,000 security men couldn't stop vote buying. INEC fails to ensure secrecy of the ballots. That's on page 9. Welfare spending. 14 Supreme Court justices insist on probe of CGN, and that's on page 5. And behind Saturday Vanguard Sports. NFF election, how ex-footballers fought back. Flamingos in tough group to play Germany, Chile, New Zealand in group stage. Ronaldo issues Man United transfer ultimatum. Lover Matthews can't wait for the party. For any interest, ensure to grab a copy of the Vanguard.
And now to Saturday Punch. And beside the nameplates, alleged organ trafficking. Ohaneze prays for Ekwere Madu. Wife, sons call for caution. The story can be found on page 17. And below the masthead, Tinubu Lawan orders hail Bajabi Amila at 60 and Sanwo-Olu at 57. The story can be found on page 9. Obi Kwankwaso and inmate Summit report. The story can be found on page 4. Southwest PDP demands Senate presidency. SGF party chair from Atiku. Ex-VP party may offer speakership, party chair position after victory. Atiku team working on strategies to win zone. Order says aid. The story can be found on page 4. We are happy being aged but sad, battling hunger, homelessness, diseases, loneliness, says senior citizens. The story can be found on pages 22 and 23. Family suspects foul play as Akwa Ibom man dies after meal with lover. We can't say she's responsible, says the police. The story can be found on page 24. I want a judge to confront me would stop wearing traditional worshippers' attire to court. Lawyer protesting against hijab judgment. The story can be found on page 2. Bakers threaten strike over high cost of flour, sugar and others. The story can be found on page 20. And behind the Saturday Punch, it's all about sports. So if you have interest in any of these headlines, get the Saturday Punch.
And lastly, for today's newspaper highlights, The Guardian. Supreme Court throws out Buhari suit against new Electoral Act. Details of that could be found on page 2. Niger Delta leaders demand republic for region. I have no house in Wuse, no bulletproof cars. Sorry about that. No bulletproof cars, says Buratai. Inspector killed as gunmen attack Kogi police station. Why police officers defy IGP's order? Uchemba. People call me a comedian. I prefer to be known as an actor. Kechi Richard Shedu. Women can do any job in any field and excel at it. And behind The Guardian, Commonwealth Games trials, Enekwechi shatters record. Men's 4x100 relay team outclasses South Africa. And for any interest, your copy of your interest. And many times, thanks to Olong Your Paper Stands for their consistency every Saturday.
Yes.
Alright, so what's next on the lineup?
Next is on health. We have typhoid. Alright, so we're going to talk on typhoid on health. It's supposed to fitness then?
Yes.
Oh, then we're going on fitness.
Okay.
I jumped to the next segment and think I'm too fast. I'm running.
I think fitness is all about couples exercise.
Are you sure? Let's not let the cat out of the bag yet.
And you know,
are you sure?
Yes.
Because you're newly married?
And my wife is even in the studio, so...
okay, let's see. Then let's go for fitness.
Right.
Let's see what they have for us.
Beautiful day to you all. Welcome to the Fitness Morning Safari. My name is Ireba Misako. It's been very so the partner, you could grab your friend, your parent, whoever is willing to do this exercise. So first, we'll be starting with warming up, which is very, very important. You want to have your blood pumping so you are not cramping anything. So the first exercise we'll be doing is the couple's wall sit. Normally, if you are doing this by yourself, you would need the assistance of a wall. I know that was very difficult. So the second one, let us be a bit relaxing, and that is the couple's canoe. This forms a sort of intimacy with you and your partner because you are relying on each other to balance, just like the wall sit. But this one is less strenuous. Sure you to do the plank, and your partner would the pressure on your knee, but I know you're strong enough to handle that. Wow, that was a bit challenging, but you know what? Doing these exercises with your partner, it forms intimacy. You get to love one another more. So we've arrived at the end of this week's edition of Fitness Segment. Don't forget to keep doing this. It is very beneficial. Your health is very important. So Morning Safari continues. Goodbye.
Wow, this is amazing and fascinating.
Why you
I believe my wife has learned a lot, but the only challenge I have with trying this is because my wife is kind of heavy. I don't know how to carry her. And then not to talk of she's staying on. Alright, I'm gonna try something else
next week.
and I'll give you a report next week.
Alright, okay.
Alright, so next on the lineup is health.
Alright.
Segment, and I think we are talking about the cure and prevention of typhoid fever. So stay tuned.
Typhoid fever is a life-threatening infection caused by. It is usually spread by eating contaminated food and water. Practitioner will throw more light on the causes.
Enteric fever, and is caused by now threats, concern all over the world. 27 million and so this fever almost in the rainy season. Talking about the causes of typhoid fever, by Salmonella typhi, but there are some predisposing factors that could enhance people to contact typhoid fever. Food and fruits, contaminated water and contaminated food, and when fruits, especially those ones that are not peeled, is eaten raw, one could contact it.
It is caused by the symptoms of typhoid, which includes high fever, diarrhea, and constipation.
Basically, symptoms about as it's called fever. The symptoms most related to the symptoms of fever or fever. You have high temperature, the stepwise temperature. We describe it as a ladder form temperature. It increases every day, and it can rise to about 40.5 degrees centigrade. Headache is a common, very common symptoms in typhoid fever, and have constipations and diarrhea at the same type of fever. If you have constipation and you are still having diarrhea, most likely it's going to be typhoid fever. Generalized weakness of the body, tiredness, loss of appetite, all those things are still.
Medical experts also
they are key. Then the water and food to be taken has to be properly treated. People should but any water you must take, you boil.
Advised to take personal hygiene seriously, most especially the food. Health is wealth.
Typhoid fever, so scary. Let's just try to prevent ourselves. Let's know the kind of water to take, the kind of food, especially from food to water, so that we avoid, because to me prevention is better than
cure. Exactly.
So it's time for our children at home, get ready. It's time for you on our cartoon Home from Sweet Home.
Invited to a party. Just head to the Milky Way. Turn right at the Big Dipper. Third planet from the sun. Look for my balloon. Come party.
Now? Just open it. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. But what are you doing? Distracting the driver.
The earth could quake to ruin. We could drift off and sleep. No, we hate to think about it, but it's still as you and me. It's as real as you and me. The ocean caressed the shore and take us down forevermore. No, we hate to think about it, but it's as real as you and me. If I should go,
Wow, the cartoon home, and I hope our kids at home enjoy this cartoon. The continuation next week. It's now time for our discussion segment. But before you meet my guest, let's monkeypox disease.
Was first discovered in 1958 when 2 outbreaks of pox-like disease occurred among monkeys kept for research. However, the first human case of monkeypox was recorded in 1970 in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and consequently it has infected people in several other Central and Western Africa countries, Liberia, and more recently, Nigeria.
It was one of the viruses transmitted from animal to human being.
It was first discovered from laboratory monkeys, but later it was seen in humans.
According to reports, monkeypox can be transmitted through close or direct physical contact with an infected person or animal through sexual intercourse and respiratory droplets.
By animals or by human beings, either dead or alive. Or it could also be contaminated by materials that have been infected by the virus. Most of the symptoms are body ache, muscle ache especially, rashes, and some will just get fatigue suddenly. Swollen lymph nodes.
To prevent the spread of monkeypox, infected patients must be isolated. Also, good hygiene must be maintained after contact with infected animals and humans.
That was a backgrounder on the topic monkeypox diseases. And for you to, my guest, a part of the in person of
You are.
Good morning.
Thank you so much.
All right.
For having me.
Oh, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Let's start this way. We've been hearing about different kind of pox, but monkeypox.
Okay, thank you. I think it's the right time now for us to start defining monkeypox.
Yes, sir.
And enlighten people because can zoonotic disease. Transmitted from animal to man, and also can be transmitted from man to man too. It's called monkeypox because it was collection of monkey, colony of monkeys that is meant to be used for a research. It was noticed in human being. That is the origin of it's a viral zoonotic disease that can be transmitted from animal to man, from man to man.
So you said it can be transmitted from animal to man, then from man to man. Then how do you get transmitted? What causes the transmission?
Thank you. Talking about the transmissions from animal, if you come in contact with an infected animal, and infected animal is very, very infectious. Maybe through bite, through interactions with the fluid animal, and probably people that are veterinary doctors, they are treating the animals, or even those that home pets at home, and they taking care of the animal and the scratch of the animal too. Talking about transmission from man, infected man too can transfer into another person. By the time we are going on, we're going to discuss the symptoms of this particular. It consists of the rashes, and then that can be found in the face, in the palm, at the sole of the foot, and the body generally. If anybody is in contact with the fluid from these blisters, you will definitely be infected. And this form part of the mode of transmissions of the particular disease.
You talked about animals. What kind of animals can affect you with that?
Okay. Originally it was from monkey.
Okay.
But you know, monkey too could infect other pet animals.
Pet animals. Okay.
So, like from the way it was transmitted to US, it was the animal that were imported to that place that gets their dogs infected, and the dog become a transmitting animal to them. So one has to be very careful to virtually all animals, especially the animal that we have in the house, so that we are not infected from them. Basically, any animal can be infected from other animals too. You know, as human beings too can be infected from infected human being. So you don't want to, though it's rodents and that is much more complicated, but that can transfer into other animals too. So that one should be very, every meat now should be well cooked, you know, so that you don't infect it from the raw cooked meat. I don't want to categorize that be careful for this, be careful for this, so that people will not be looking onto that side. However, it could now we are preparing for Ilea festival. Nobody can say. So virtually any animal, one should be very careful for it.
So cooking it properly will
properly before you want to eat it. And those that have pets at home, be careful so that the pet doesn't scratch you or bite you. You know, especially if it is a sick animal. You don't know the sort of sickness you have to be very, very careful. It could be monkeypox.
Every element have signs and symptoms.
Sure.
And enlighten us on the signs and symptoms of monkey.
When infected,
yes,
it usually starts with fever, chills, and headache, backache. Those are the first signs that you're going to see. When there are about 5 to 21 days of infections. It could be any day of this. So those are the systemic symptoms that's going to be shown. But after that, it could be followed by a rashes. And this rashes is it has a particular way by which you could notice. The rashes could occur at the palm. It could occur at the soles of the foot. Occur at the face, in the mouth, and even in the genitalia. You know, these are areas, even at the anus. These are areas where other parts of the body too could be involved. You could see it in other parts of the body. But these areas are the areas where it aids transmissions. Like in the palm now, you should be careful not to. The culture of shaking, you know, so you should be very careful. When you're talking of in the mouth, when you are talking to people, you have to use a face mask because the saliva can split and can split the virus. Okay, we're talking about the face. If you want to hug people, you have to stop that now, you know, because there's no way you can hug without the face coming in contact, you know. And talking about the genitalia, you know, the sexual interactions has to be stopped or serious precautions. These are the reasons, and some people we have it in the anal. That's where you pass, you know. Primarily, it was first noticed in the commonly in men that are having sex with men. You know, and since they will use the anal, that's why it's very common among them. So it is much more noticed in the sex hospital. You know, these people, they are fond of seeking for care because they are used to that kind of AIDS and some other things like that. So that's why it's very, very common. So this is why it is noticed in the colony of men that are having, very common colony of men that are having sex with men. You know? So virtually we want to thank God that the outbreak of COVID-19 had already put us in our last mode. You know? So virtually the way we are taking precaution for COVID-19, it's the way we have to be taking precaution for this.
Alright. We have lots of pox, chicken pox, smallpox. What difference with the rashes coming out? How do you identify this is monkeypox, not chicken pox?
Okay. There is lymph node enlargements that normally accompany monkeypox, which is not very common to other pox. And though this present outbreak, it is said that lymph node enlargement is not usually common there. But for monkeypox, let's talking about chickenpox now, there is no orderliness in the way. I think it has a waves of the rashes comes in waves. In chickenpox, but in monkeypox it spreads all over. Comes anyhow. So those are the way we can identify, especially the lymph nodes enlargements. You have the lymph node enlargement, most likely it has to be monkeypox. That's one of the.
So, how severe is this disease? How severe is it?
Well, the present outbreak, we have two types of virus that causes this.
Okay.
We have the Central Africa virus and the West Africa virus.
Okay.
The West Africa virus is not much severe, and it is one that is noticed to be causing this particular outbreak. Generally, monkeypox is not a very severe disease, but if not properly treated, it could lead to complications. And when it starts, it runs its full course of about 4 weeks. Even if it is not treated, it goes away. But when complications set in, we're going to talk about the complication. When complications set in, it could lead to anything, especially in children and infants. And when the patient, the individual is immunocompromised, probably having HIV or some other ailment, underlying problems, it could be very severe. It could, in fact, it could lead to deaths in such a case. So the advice is just that if there's a sign and symptom that you can see, as you have enumerated now, please see your doctor immediately. Go to the hospital. Don't want to interpret it in the way that they said it's not severe. It's not severe. It could be very severe because rashes on the skin can get infected. And when that happened, you couldn't know the extent. We were talking of rashes in the mouth, it will get infected. You know, and there are a lot of complications, even in the eyes, it will get infected. And there are a lot of complications that can follow. If the rashes in the eyes is infected, you could lose your vision, and you can become blind. So we shouldn't say it is not severe, but generally it is less severe.
Okay. So how can we protect ourselves from monkeypox?
You know, I had already said the society has been put in alert mode by the outbreak of COVID-19. So virtually everything that we do in COVID-19 is very important here. Please don't, the hugging should stop. Face masks, you should use it so that when people talk, don't split saliva, or respiratory etiquette too. When you want to cough, you have to cover your mouth and your nose with this. Don't shake because there are rashes on the palm, you know, and so sexual interaction too should be highly courteous. Virtually almost everything that we do for wash your hand every time, you know, because people that are infected can cough and infect these surfaces, most especially if you notice any infected person, then be careful of the materials that person has used. If you want to take care of the clothes, the bed sheet, you have to be very careful so that you are not infected through that. Majority of the cases, people that are infected, they infect the clothes, sheets, the clothes they wear, and they may not be able to wash it because of their sick conditions. So if you have to take care and wash them, you have to be very careful. Soak them in hot water before you wash them. These are inactivated, and make sure that probably, if it is possible, you even use the hand glove to wash. You don't wash with your bare hand, you know. So those are virtually the precautions that
to be taken.
Necessary.
All right. Can monkeypox be treated? How is it treated, or do we have a vaccine that prevents it?
Yes. Presently, the vaccine is not available in Nigeria. Let me first say that.
Okay.
But the smallpox vaccine is effective against it.
Okay.
And you know, the smallpox itself has been eradicated since about 1980. So people that are less than 40 years could not have been exposed to the vaccine, you know. And even if you are exposed and you are sure, you still have to take precautions. Generally, monkeypox is self-limiting disease. it runs its course and leave you. The rashes will come out, they will crush, they will become in blister, and they will dry up later. But you still need healthcare attention, because you have to be rehydrated. The rashes, fluid will be coming from it, and you may be dehydrated through that. The infection in your body, the rashes in your body might get infected. You need to be placed on antibiotics, and the fever, the headache, the backache, somebody must take care of you on that. So your doctors is very, very important in that situations to ensure that it doesn't go to severity and it's not complicated by anything. So these are just the management for now. The antiviral drugs are not available now to be used on it. But basically, for it doesn't even much necessary for this monkeypox. You know, what is just necessary is symptomatic treatment. You're having headache, they treat you. You're having fever, they treat you. They ensure does not escalate, that it's not infected secondarily by bacteria. Those are just the care around the monkeypox.
Okay. Let's come down to Kwara State.
All right.
On 23rd, we heard that Kwara State has gotten a case of monkeypox. So what preventive measures have been put in place to ensure that it will not escalate?
At this junction, I think we have to appreciate first the present administrations of Kwara State. Person of His Excellency Dr. Abraham Abrasan has been giving very adequate and unprecedented attention to health in Kwara State. So we are well equipped now than before. So there has been community sensitizations. There are flyers that is thrown out, that if you read it, you know the way to take care of yourself and take precautions. There are radios, jingles, programs. This is part of it that we are doing now to sensitize the public so that you could know what and what about monkeypox. And also, there are a lot of training that have been going on. The local government disease surveillance and notification officer are now being trained to be able to recognize monkeypox in the community. So those that are living in the rural area, when they have that, we still have our men, disease notification officer, that are in the community that can alert us, because you can get to a particular home and the patient, the person is sick and it's monkeypox, and they may not know it's monkeypox. We just say it's measles, it's this, it's that, and they want to be treating it. They are community notification officer that we employ, that they could be going around, and when they notice that, they quickly alert and report. Basically, talking to the community, we have said, we have already mentioned all the symptoms. So if you see those symptoms, please quickly go to the hospital. You know, and the first thing you have to do if you see those symptoms, isolate yourself. Don't interact with people, and try to cover the rashes. Wear clothes so that by the time you are dealing with people, people are not infected or even infecting the surfaces. If you put your arms on the table like this and you remove it, another person come to interact with that table is already infected. So we want to advise people that are noticing symptoms to use face masks when you are interacting with people. Separate yourself, isolate yourself. Don't interact with people much so that you don't get so many people infected. When the people take this kind of precaution, it's not going to be a widespread problem. You know, if you are very courteous and you are not selfish, you try to take care of yourself and think about people around you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
I've been speaking with a public health physician in person of Ajahu Shuaib. He has talked to us on monkeypox and how to prevent it. Any symptoms of this, because your health is your wealth. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Hope next time we'll call you obligers.
Sure.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And next. Lineup is Entertainment Gist with Amarachi.
Sometimes it feels like there's a drought. Sometimes it feels like people don't understand. Cause the pressure plenty and the expectations high. Even your day ones were supposed to get your back. Sometimes they won't stay fine. And everybody has an opinion. Now you supposed to live your life. And even people were supposed to show you the way. Now the people they backbite. Not be proud of the ego. Sometimes I gotta change my mind. Sometimes I gotta stay behind. Sometimes I want out of my head. They just don't go drive me. I no preach, no vex, back on my head is full of. I be something like this. That is something like this. Sometimes, no, I don't under my own. I got so many things that there is, no bother me. Wọ́n ní irú pálapàla ògòǹgò lélẹ̀ kilo ṣe jẹ́ nìkan ò ṣe rí o. Cause family koko ẹni kọ́lá is no be pride of people. Sometimes I got take away when I have nothing to say. Sometimes I will have to say no. Sometimes I got so what's out of my head. And this person don't go drive me insane. So you can see me for sure and I don't need to know that back on my head is full of. I'm about you know the level. Life is also like this.
Hello and welcome to entertainment segment of Morning Safari, your breakfast show. I am Amarachi Onyesu. In this segment, I've got trending, interesting stories for your viewing pleasure. We are to go on a short break, and of course, I'll be right here in the studio to tell you all my stories when we come back. Stay glued. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, now to the stories. I'm blessed to be blessed. Gospel singer Mercy Chinwo as she shares pre-wedding pictures. The music star took to her Instagram page to share her big news. She wrote, "I'm blessed to be blessed with at the official blessed. The thought of doing the next phase and the rest of my life with you makes the blessing more real. I love you, sweet." Love, they say, is really a beautiful thing. I think this era we are in right now is the era of we call you brother, I call you sister too, because these both, they are giving us the brotherly and sisterly vibe on social media. But now, they are blessing us everywhere to keep everything on the low so that Nigerians will not come with their army. Yes. But kudos to you guys did well. I must commend you people. And congratulations, we wish you nothing but a blissful marriage. So the next of our story we have Afrobeat legend P-Square teases new single. After over a year of getting back together, P-Square has assured fans that they have new music coming. In a tweet, Peter shared, "No sleep, we are still awake here in the studio working. Get ready. Good evergreen music is coming," he tweeted, urging fans to expect new music from the famous duo soon. I don't know if it's just me, but I love P-Square when they are together. Come on, two heads they say are better than one. I mean, when they graced our screen, they did it with lovely sounds and great dance moves. I even learned some moves from them. Yes, and now this their new song, they are not going to fall short. Come on, they are not Amaka now, so they can't disappoint us. So P-Square, we are ready. Now to the last but not least on our story, we have I am single, not searching, and still love my ex. Kafi on separation from her husband. Kafiyat, popularly known as Kafi, has said that she is single but not searching and still loves her ex-husband because they both need to work together in order to give their children a good life. I've moved on as a single mother, trying to make the best out of my life and pushing my career to the highest level. I must say, love still dwells here. I mean, if you guys can put your differences aside and work things out, we might have our Mr. and Mrs. again. And that will bring us to the end of this segment. I hope you enjoyed yourself as much as I did. For our sport lovers, the last, take a ship, you. We have not forgotten you. This next segment is well packaged for your viewing pleasure. So like come your way next time, same station is right for now.
Hello and welcome to the sports segment on Morning Safari. I am Ejiro Favor. And our lineup of stories for today. Chelsea to rival Man United for Anthony. While the Brazilian winger is keen on a move to Manchester United, Chelsea is one of the clubs who have recently conducted discussions with the representatives of Ajax winger Anthony. Manchester United have identified the 22-year-old as their top attacking target and are currently the front-runners to sign him, though they could now face competition from Chelsea, who are after attacking reinforcements themselves. Eriksen to pick between Manchester United and Brentford. Christian Eriksen is ready to pick between Manchester United and Brentford. He spent the second half of the 2021-2022 campaign in West London after making a return to action after a serious health scare, but has been wanted in the northwest at Old Trafford for some time. Ronaldo to replace Lewandowski at Bayern. Bayern Munich are eyeing Cristiano Ronaldo to replace Robert Lewandowski should a Polish striker leave for Barcelona. The German giants will now make an attempt to lure the Portugal star to the Bundesliga as they look to bring in a new attacker to take Lewandowski's place. And that will be all in sports for the week. I am Ejiro Favor.
Wow, on that sporting note, you like sport?
I don't like sport. That's for the sport viewers and sport lovers. I'm not a sport person.
Alright,
not at all.
So. Alright, okay. On the sporting note, we come to the end of this week's edition of Morning Safari. Take your health seriously. Go and see your doctor. If you find any symptoms of the listed symptoms of monkeypox, see your doctor and get treated. Your health is your health. Stay healthy.
Alright, and from my side, I wish Mercy Chinwo a happy married life in advance. In advance. I'm so happy for her. And also, I wish Kafi and her husband comes back to themselves in reconciliation. Alright, that will be all for today. I remain my humble self, Samson Owojaye. See you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.